Hey y'all, this is Audra Hicks with Simply Home, your Tennessee Realtor, and today I have my home inspector, the owner of House Call Home Inspections, with me today. We're going to go over some of the home inspection terminology and stuff.
We're just going to talk about home inspection, the importance of home inspection, and really setting the buyer's expectations so basically they can understand what that process is and how it helps you in purchasing your home.
Yeah, very important information.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
stay tuned because I put the real in real estate. And we have Sheldon also visiting. He likes Chris and wants to play with him and toys and stuff.
I have two Bernedoodles, just like you have your doodles, and they're super friendly.
They are.
They're hard to keep out of the limelight. They want to be in the camera as much as we
always.
do.
Always. So, what did you want to tell us about?
A home inspection, what is it? A lot of buyers, some people haven't bought a home in maybe a decade, and if longer, they might not have had a home inspection before. So a home inspection covers all the major systems in a home, the exterior of the house, your roof, basements or crawl spaces, the slabs. We look at all plumbing, electrical, panels, any plumbing fixtures, visually inspect the home, operate all the appliances, and our job is to make sure that the home works properly for the new owner, prospective new owner, and that's.
And if it doesn't, then we run, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't run because nowadays you can pretty much address everything, and I mean really like setting buyers' expectations and working exclusively with the buyer on what are the issues with the house, and then answering any questions that they have and making them feel confident in their purchase. To me, in our industry, in the home inspection industry, a lot of times there's, the stuffiness comes out. Some people want to show you how smart they are, or maybe, over talk the situation. I try to take a level-headed approach with my team and, really explain the issues, and then how the client can address them and what the severity of those issues are.
Yeah, he's always really good, him and his team, of explaining everything to my buyers.
Yes.
And I love that. And I love the software that y'all use because you make it easier on the real estate agent to, once the clients figure out what they want to possibly ask for, or if they don't ask for, they'll at least know because you highlight in different colors, and I'll let you go on that part.
We actually use a software called Spectora, and the beautiful part of it is we've set it up to be color-coded. So as a buyer, you will know the severity of the item that's in the report based on the color. And so I always explain it to buyers like this. I'm not there trying to show you how smart we are, right? That's not our job. No. Our job there is to be informative and be thorough. And
Very thorough.
Yes. And so, the blue items in the report, they're general maintenance. And just putting that in layman's terms for any buyer out there, general maintenance, it's no different than when you purchase a car. If you buy a car, we all inherently know that we have to change our tires occasionally, windshield wipers, air filters, things like that. When you buy a home, you have similar general maintenance items. So all those blue items in the report, they're general maintenance things. Orange items, those would be our recommendations. Those are things that as a home buyer you would want to address sooner than later. And then red items are safety hazards. Now, some people see red items and they get
like, oh gosh,
they get scared. They feel like, oh my gosh, we're about to see this enormous cost point. And really, safety hazards could be as simple as an electrical outlet cover.
GFCI plug or something.
Outlet covers cost 85 cents at Lowe's or Home Depot.
Right.
And so it's just because there's risk of electrical shock or something like that. And so we highlight those as red because those things should definitely be addressed very soon.
Yeah. Or what could be other red items like?
So like anything to do with waste on your plumbing side. So like, for example, if we were in the crawl space and you had a drain line leaking or something like that, that could be a red item. Now, me as a potential buyer, oh my gosh, that does feel like a big deal, but it's really not. Plumbing is actually one of the easiest things to fix on any home. Nowadays with PEX and PVC.
Oh, it makes it so much easier.
Oh, I mean, literally a service call and it's addressed. So what we don't want to see is, years of raw sewage being emptied in the crawl space. And I can tell you 25,000 home inspections in 2023 throughout house call. We have very rarely come across those issues. So.
Yeah, I think I've only had that once in all the homes I've sold.
Most homes are most homes are well taken care of, honestly. When you're walking into a house as a potential buyer, if you are truly being honest, you can tell if the house has semi been kept up or not, right?
Well, I love the flip homes too, where they've done it yourself. So we make sure that we get home inspections. I always tell my buyers they need a home inspection no matter what. If they can choose not to get one, but it's on them,
Yeah.
So
I mean, the home inspection really it's a very affordable, and I look at it like your insurance. Umbrella policy.
Right.
I mean,
it's like
it's having someone look out for you. I mean, I can tell you, it'd be awesome if somebody went with me when I buy cars, because I feel like sometimes I buy cars, I drive off the lot. 3 weeks later, something goes wrong with it, and I'm stuck. The beautiful thing about purchasing a house is you do have the availability of having someone come in and look at it, and it's thorough. So to me, that extra confidence that what I'm buying, and we carry $1 million general liability and errors and omission. We don't want that to come up, obviously, but the fact of the matter is we do have your clients protected. So if there is something that comes up, and it does, I mean, we could talk about new construction. The age-old, I
think new construction has the longest list of items that y'all find.
Well, nobody's
lived there.
We've never done a perfect house, and that's the misnomer is if you buy new, it doesn't have any issues. And the builders will tell you, hey, you get a warranty with this.
Well, good luck getting them to come back.
That's exactly
right. I know.
And so about 30% of our business is new construction, and we find all kinds of things that I would want to know, right? For example, we just recently did a home inspection, and we found out like the sewage line was disconnected in the crawl space. Think about if that buyer had moved into the house, we're talking, we technically saved the builder thousands and thousands of dollars in cleanup money, right? You used to own a cleaning company.
Yeah, we had our high-end floor care business for 24 years. But so we thought we'd seen it all, and then you get into real estate and you see it all too. But like that, the new construction, I had buyers once that bought one after it had only been a year old. Yeah. Well, y'all went underneath and discovered that one of the pipes was not, I think this is before y'all ever got here. It was another home inspection company that was pretty thorough like you are. And at that time, because this has been years ago, at that time, the one of the plumbing to a shower that was in one of the two primary bathrooms downstairs, for a year, that homeowner had been using it, and it had been going underneath the house because it just did not get connected.
Oh, I've had it similar. I mean, I did an inspection one time, and how we do our inspections, we typically go in the crawl space last because we want to make sure we run all that plumbing and then make sure we can identify leaks. And heck, I went in the crawl space, and it had water in it, and I was surprised because it hadn't rained. And then I got in and crawled a little ways because I could hear running water because I was still running.
Bad.
Yes, and the main drain line for the house was literally hanging down like this, and so the entire time that I was doing the inspection, every time I ran a faucet or filled a tub or checked a shower, I was adding water to these. And look, at the end of the day, the seller wasn't just mad. I mean, they didn't even know.
No, they didn't know. Most of the time, sellers want to know what's going on.
Yeah, and I would tell you,
didn't know.
They're not. Most sellers are not hiding things.
No.
I'm just being brutally honest with you.
Right.
When we discover stuff on home inspections, things that are, a surprise, a shock to everybody
when
involved.
y'all tell us a lot of times, here's these things, and we would have most people try to keep up with their maintenance on their homes.
Yeah, most definitely.
And so, you're going to find even a small crack in concrete,
Yeah.
And what do you say?
Yeah.
I tell everybody.
Yeah. So
there's 2 different types of concrete.
Cracked concrete or concrete that's going to crack.
Right.
So the fact of the matter is I don't typically make a big deal about cracked concrete patios and driveways.
Right.
Unless it's, a large crack and some settlement going with it. But minor cracking is always expected. Same thing with drywall in the homes. We live here in Middle Tennessee. It's clay for the most part. It doesn't soak up a lot of rainwater. It's not really that expansion. So it only can soak up so much water. And then we have a lot of rock underneath that. So at times, drywall cracks happen in almost every home. Houses typically settle within the first 10 years. And so I tell new homeowners of new construction, like, hey, if you have a minor crack open up, unless you want to fill it multiple times, I would probably, if it's not bothering you, and I have one in my living room. Sorry, honey, I'm not going to fill it for another 5 years. She's, hey, that crack's up there, and yeah, but I'm not going to fill it because our house isn't done settling.
And Brianna's like, what?
Yeah.
No, you're going to fill it.
Yes, eventually, yes. It's a big living room, and I don't want to have to repaint it 5 times.
No, because it will.
Yeah,
it expands
it will
and contracts, and it's going to open up
After
again.
about 10 years, homes from the construction process tend to anchor themselves and stop moving unless we have some seismic shift or something like that.
Let's hope not.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate.
Yeah.
We're in a good place here in Middle Tennessee.
We are. Born and raised here. We love it here.
Yeah,
so not you, but
I'm a transplant.
Yeah,
but
you're a transplant.
So waving to all the fellow Tennesseans who have come from other places.
Yeah, I sell a lot of.
Keeps our real estate business running. And you know what? That's the beautiful thing about Home Sweet Home here in Tennessee is everybody that moves here can attest that it's one of the most beautiful states, and we love it.
That's why a lot of people love it here. And the 4 seasons. Everybody tells us there's 4 seasons. We don't get that everywhere. Now, we might experience them all in one day. So that's the way it goes in Tennessee.
Well, that is like today, it's 50 degrees. It's nice.
It feels like it's 80 out there.
Yeah.
Because it was cold yesterday.
Oh,
yeah.
I tell you what. And that's the thing, too. As a potential buyer, you should know, like, one day a door might fully not, when you go to shut it, you might have to wiggle the lock a little bit. But just give it 2 days. The temperature will change and that door will close like butter. So that happens too. And these issues happen to all of us, just so you know. Even in my house, it seems like in the summer, every door in the house closes exactly as it should. And as soon as it starts getting cold out, some of the closet doors, expansion and contraction sets in, and the house flexes a little bit or tightens up a little bit, and things start to get sticky. But I will tell you, in your home inspection, depending on what season the home inspection is done, we will note those things, right? So
because y'all do a good job at describing inside the home inspection, even in the maintenance items, what they need to do.
100%.
And then if you ever have any questions, my buyers know that they can just call whatever home inspector he sent out, or
you could call our office and they will put you in touch with the home inspector that installed it. Plus, you'll also have their number because you'll have been in contact with them at the time of the inspection. So we're there for follow-up questions, and we routinely answer questions that pop up because, let's be honest, most people, it takes living in a home for a little bit to come across something. And that's one thing with a home inspection. Most people, when we're there, we're only there for 3 to 4 hours, right?
But that's a good thing, because I've had home inspectors in the past, before y'all arrived, that were there only 45 minutes to an hour in a home, and I'm like, how are you inspecting?
Yes.
So that's where you have issues. But I try to, use great people that I know and trust
Yeah.
to
And if you look us up online,
job.
we have almost 1,500 5-star reviews, and every one of them says something about our customer service and our thoroughness.
Yeah.
And so we do pack a ton of thoroughness into that 4 hours. We do our inspection. We call it the house call way. And so no matter who you get on our team, you can expect that you're going to get the same home inspection, and it's very thorough. But I will tell you, there are times that, setting your expectations as a buyer, you should know it is a visual inspection. What does that mean, right? Because a lot of people don't understand, they may do a remodel somewhere down the road, maybe like a year or two into it, and they start opening up walls and things like that. And they need to understand that home inspection does not, we do not look inside wall cavities. We have no way. And so there are hidden things that will come up as you own a house, right?
I think y'all had done one for a buyer, and we were under contract. She loved the home, and up in the attic, the seller had, they had flipped it, but the attic had stuff over previous fire damage.
Yes, and that's one thing.
And you can't get back there to see
that. No, and so a home inspection is a visual inspection. It's not technically exhaustive. If we were there to do a very technical, exhaustive inspection, we'd be there all day and possibly the next day. Okay,
and so, it would cost them a lot more money.
Yes, it would definitely cost you a lot more money. The average home inspection price here in Middle Tennessee is around $500.
Give or take.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say the average, depending on if you're buying a larger home or a small home. I always just tell people to budget for around $500. That way, if it's a little bit smaller, you'll gladly have some pocket money.
About that.
And if it's a little bit over that, you're buying some big home, you won't be in sticker shock city.
Right.
But all of our home inspections come with a termite inspection. The great thing about House Call is we own our own pest control service.
Right.
So all of our home inspectors are Category 7 Tennessee Department of Agriculture licensed and approved pest and termite inspectors. So we do our own inspections there. You don't have to rely on a third-party company. And we also give all of Audra's clients and all of our clients discounted quarterly pest services, discounted termite plans, protection, mosquito treatments. And so that's, again, one of the benefits of owning both businesses is we can provide, additional services to your clients. And God knows we have our fair share of bugs here in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, especially on the lake, on lake homes too.
Yes. We just don't have the winters to knock down those types of things. So.
Right. So I think we're going to do another video about your pest control stuff. Yeah. So y'all be looking for that one.
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll go over the type of bugs you see in Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody doesn't know. Yeah. I mean, you go out west, you might have creepy crawlies. That
Scorpions,
I'm like,
things like that we don't
scary.
have here. But we do have our fair share of, rattlesnakes and, spiders.
Have y'all seen a lot of that in the crawl spaces too?
Yeah, we definitely see snakes in crawl spaces. My wife hates snakes.
I do too.
But I will tell you...
we have a lot of good snakes here, though. And
yes.
If you call snakes good, which they're, people love snakes too.
I'm a snake person.
Of them.
Snakes are good.
They are, because they do control rodents too, and bad snakes.
Yes.
The good snakes eat the bad snakes.
They do eat the bad snakes.
But when you go in a yard and you step on one, you don't know if it's a good or bad one, so I will scream. Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Yeah, you just need to... I mean, most bites that happen from snakes, honestly, are men. If you look at the statistics.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because women come across snakes and they do an about face and they leave, right?
Yeah.
But men grab a stick and start playing with the snake and then they get bit. Now, in Middle Tennessee, we really only have like 2 or 3 types of venomous snakes. And so the majority of the snakes you come across are not venomous, okay?
Right.
And the ones that are give you fair warning. Yeah. Okay, they give you warning. And so the people that do, honestly, that get bit by snakes right now, it was a total shock, meaning like they weren't looking in the ground, maybe walking through the woods, a rocky area, and they literally point blank step on a rattlesnake. Okay,
right.
That no one can control that.
Yeah.
Okay. But the other bites are usually men, and they're agitating the snake, and then they get
right.
bit.
And you don't do that kind of thing.
No. Well, most rattlesnakes, don't view you as a food source. So
right.
A lot of times they're not going to hit you with a full venom anyway. So, it's not
You've done your research, Mr. Pest Control
yes,
person.
I know a lot. Well, we go in a lot of crawl spaces. I'm not. We do come across our fair share of snakes.
Yeah.
Okay. But other pests, raccoons, stray cats. All kinds of things. Mice, rats. Brown recluse spiders, black widow spiders. There's a whole
every house has brown recluses.
Yes.
Pretty much every house, and there's ways of.
Yeah. So you're going to talk to my twin brother Matt later, and he's been bit by a brown recluse.
I know. He was doing an inspection for us, and he had his leg. I thought he needed it amputated.
Yeah. So look, the key with brown recluse spiders, and you shouldn't be scared as a homeowner. The number one thing is they're reclusive. Okay. So they don't want to be around you. So you don't have to worry about hanging out in your bonus room or your living room and a brown recluse just kind of wandering along and then biting you. Okay.
Right.
That's not going to happen. Okay. What will happen though is maybe you go on vacation. You're away from your house for a week. Yes, they will move into areas where activity was but is no longer. Right. And so one of the things I always tell homeowners is like, look, when you come home, check your bedding. Hey, me and my wife own a pest control company. We were in Florida last year. We came home, and sure enough, sitting on the edge of the bed after we threw our luggage there and went to go to bed that night was a brown recluse. Yeah. Good sized one, too.
Oh,
I killed it quickly.
You've been hanging out for a while and eating
so,
good, huh?
One, you do not want your sheets or your comforters. So if you're like my wife, you like those long flowing comforters, make sure you put put some sticky boxes under your bed to capture those.
Those are always good.
It's better to have shorter comforters than longer. Mm-hmm. If you're a person like my 9-year-old that loves to throw his clothes everywhere, all over his room, you definitely want to make sure you shake your clothing out.
Right.
And just be mindful of that. So if you go on vacations, definitely when you come back, check your sheets, things like that. Yeah. And then if you leave clothes on the floor, definitely shake them. Because brown recluses, they're not scary. They're not like, bite, Audra. No, what happens is they get in your sheets, you go down and lay down for bed, you roll over and pinch them, and then they bite you.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't crawl. Like if you had a brown recluse just crawling on you, he's not just going to fang up and suck your blood. No, he bites you as a defensive. I will tell you this. I've opened up so many attic hatches as a home inspector, and there'll be a brown recluse sitting on it, and they're kamikazes. They want away from you, and that thing will just take off running at me, and just to get away, he'll just jump off the hatch that I'm holding, and then I'm
they
like,
don't want to bite you.
Yeah, where did he go? And then same thing with black widows, moisture, crawl spaces. Key tip there is. If you have a water meter out at the front of your house somewhere, don't open that up. And they make keys for a reason. Yep. I bet you probably 5 in every 10 water boxes we check during the summer probably has a black widow in it. Yeah. They love that moisture, that darkness. Damn. So, yeah. What else do we have? So right now it's winter and fall, so we're having, the Japanese lady beetles come in.
Here in Tennessee we have that.
We have stink bugs that invade our home. We have mice. Lots of the field mice and stuff are making their ways in. And a typical pest control activity for a homeowner is, hey, we don't see bugs flying around in the air during the winter. I can, pause my pest control. And I would tell you that that's a bad decision to do because pest control companies shift our focus in the winter to entry prevention, right? And so all those bugs that survive and come out in that early spring emergence are living in your home in the winter where the heat is, okay?
Yeah.
And so that's why when you do pest control, you want to do it year round, right? We switch from liquid sprays to granules. We put more baiting systems out, trap systems out in the winter, and that really cuts that down.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And all the little sticky pads.
We use
them all year long.
Yes, we use them all the time.
We have those at our house anyway because the spiders.
And a good pest control company is constantly picking them up.
Right.
And the reason we use those, Audra, is it helps us identify the types of bugs that are invading your home.
Yeah.
Like, most of the time we don't walk around just picking up. We use those traps, those bait traps, to identify what is a problem area. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes, like you said, brown recluses, every house has brown recluses. Yeah. Okay. You just, as a homeowner, aren't looking in the right places. Right. Okay. We, as pest control operators, look in the right places. Yeah. We can go in your crawl space. We'll go in your attic. We will find them. Trust me. They're there.
You go hunt them
They're
down.
Where you're not at. And big infestations, like 100 or more, spiders, to even more than that. We've seen thousands of brown recluses in a home. People are living in it. And we can interview those people, and they've never had anybody bit. They didn't even know, that they had all these. But, they haven't been in their attic in probably 3 years, and they never go in their crawl space, let's be honest. So
So it can be scary, but you don't have to be.
No.
So on the home inspection part, is there any other stories that you want to share?
I mean, we could talk about stories all day long.
In real estate, we could.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the number one thing with a home inspector is, make sure you're properly vetting the company, looking them up on Google, checking their reviews, asking for, referrals and things like that. And just making sure, like Audra said, they're there longer than 45 minutes. Yeah. Because and a good thing for every homeowner out there is you can go to your agent and or the home inspection company you're using, review the standards of practice. We include that with every home inspection, so you can see exactly what the standards of practice here are in Tennessee, what we do and what we don't do. And I think sometimes that's some communication. For example, one of those issues is, as a homeowner, if you are connected to a public sewer system or on a septic system, you own that pipe that's in the ground. Okay? That pipe isn't covered in a home inspection. It isn't. Like, remember I said earlier, it's a visual inspection. We can't visually see that pipe in the ground. Yeah. So at House Call, we have all kinds of additional services that we can offer your clients, such as a video pipe sewer scope, where we can actually check that line, because sometimes tree roots, sometimes from construction, settling, those become offset, and the average cost to repair that line is $5,000. So that's a video pipe. We also do air quality. So for example, if you have a child that has asthma, or a loved one that has COPD, or you just have heightened allergies, we can do air quality samples, which we can test the air in the house just to make sure that it's comparative to control samples such as outside.
And how do you remedy that if
so we would recommend filtration systems, things like that. Almost everything can be fixed nowadays. Right. It's not like 30 years ago where if you bought a house and it had a serious issue, it couldn't get fixed. There's technology has come a ton. Right. For example, we're on city water, but our water still had issues. And so being a home inspection client of House Call, we do offer free water testing if our clients want to take an opportunity of that. And then you can put in filtration systems. We also we can test for radon. And so radon is the second leading it's the number one cause of cancer besides cigarette smoke. So technically it's the second leading cause of cancer in the United States. And radon is a whole nother topic, because you can't smell it, you can't see it, it's inert. So it's one of those things.
But it changes too.
Yeah.
With the weather.
Yes. We associate it to weather, but it's actually the pressure. The outside pressure actually can force more or less radon gas out of the ground. Not to get too technical, but
he gets technical. Okay.
So I mean, we can use drones if we can't get on a roof, because nowadays builders tend to build houses with roofs that go almost like that, and so we can't get on them like we could 20 years ago, and so we use drones for those. We have a whole bevy of services that we can offer out there.
And then too, indoor air quality. I guess you're 20. Matt, he does the crawl spaces, so he can encapsulate crawl spaces. We're actually getting ours.
You are
and done,
and I've had mine done. So Matt, my twin brother, which you'll probably meet on another episode, owns Crawl Space Titans, and so they do full encapsulation of crawl spaces. They deal with vapor barriers, moisture control, because again, think of a crawl space as like a swimming pool, right? It is literally a swimming pool under your house that technically has no water. But when it rains heavily, where do waters go, Audra? Where does the water flow to?
The path of least resistance.
Yes, it flows to a depression. Yeah, it flows to a pothole. It flows to a hole. Your crawl space is essentially a hole. Yep. So, one of the things that we do on the inspection is we look for water management issues around your house. Are we properly shedding water from the home? Because you have a roof. It collects a ton of rainwater. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure you have proper gutters, proper downspouts, extension tubes. Right. Rule of thumb is to disperse water minimum 6 feet away from your home. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not properly doing that, I can't tell you the amount of crawl spaces I've gone in that look like water beds.
I would say probably 6 or 8 out of 10 at least have
some type of moisture.
Probably moisture in the crawl space. Probably 8 out of 10 you have that. But
fungus or organic growth.
Either organic growth, or they need to extend the
vapor barrier.
They need to do that.
They do dehumidifiers. They do sump pumps. Right. And so really his company was a spinoff a couple of years ago. He was looking to start something, and there's a huge need in our market because, we really are probably 80% crawl spaces. We're starting to get more slab homes.
I know.
Very few basements. Yeah. You will find if you move to Tennessee,
ours is a basement. We love
you're
that.
lucky.
We do love that.
The rock, blasting, they have to do a lot of blasting, and so they've really kind of steered away from basements unless it's built in like you have this beautiful backyard that slopes down. Right. So having a basement is,
I think both of our houses have had, we've only owned 2 homes in our
and they were both basements.
Almost 34 years of marriage, me and my hubby, and both of them were basements.
No way.
Yeah.
That's you don't see that often here in Middle Tennessee.
So a lot of my clients love it when they have a basement.
Yeah, if we do 400 home inspections a month, we may only come across like 2 or 3 or 4 basements. Right. So the fact that you've had 2 houses and they were both basements.
Yeah, and then we have a storm shelter in the basement as well. That's funny.
Yeah. We do get a little rough weather, but honestly, it's not as bad as people think it is. No. I mean, it's not like I'm walking around inspecting a ton of roofs that have wind damage. It's not the case. Yeah. Now, when we do have tornadoes, just like everything, the news media is way better than it was 20 years ago, and so it's plastered on every screen in America. So.
Right. Yeah, but Chris will still go out if he needs to and do home inspections. Yeah. Because he's very hands-on with everything. Oh, yeah. But he has, how many employees do you have now?
So, between the pest control company and the home inspection company, we have 16 employees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're getting up there.
I remember when you had a few.
Oh, I only had one.
And you. I think, it was just you.
Me and Brian.
And then Matt moved here, too.
And then I got my brother to move here.
You and Brian.
Yeah, and so we've grown, and I think, I will tell you the
number. Grown in a good way, though, because you train your employees, and they all seem to know. And then some of yours have came from construction background.
Yeah, most definitely. The number one thing I think, and it's our motto, so we run our company through a culture. Culture is very important to us, okay? And so we run our company through a leadership team. And the number one thing, so our goal is, everybody's heard me say this, we're a customer service company. That's what we are. Mm-hmm. We just do home inspections. We do pest control. We do crawl space mitigation. And the number one thing there is, we're trying to provide Audra's clients 11-star service. Okay. Yeah. Every single time. Not 5-star, 11-star service. That's our goal. We want, if you're not happy, we're not happy.
Right. So. Right. And if y'all don't if my clients don't, I've never had anybody not like your company. But if they didn't, I have a list of home inspection companies, and I give it to them, but notoriously they seem to always call house call.
If you do a little research, you'll find that house call is well reviewed.
Great reviews. And look, they tend to call you, or I think they call everybody and they seem to like y'all and go with y'all. I don't push just one person on everybody anyway, but I do know that if they did ask me, I've never had issues, or if there is any.
We right or wrong.
Yeah. Y'all are always really good about having a great solution.
Like if any home inspection company sits here and tells you we're perfect, that's not the case. I'll gladly go on record as saying, hey, we make mistakes, right? That does happen, okay? I don't think there's a single person out there that can say that.
Right your mistakes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the thing is. When I say 11-star service, and when I say if you're not happy, we're not happy, we right our wrongs. If we make a mistake, we own that mistake.
Here's one of them. Do you remember this one? Brian, I think there was a new construction, and both of them were next door to each other. One was called, I think, 150A, and one was 150B.
Oh, yeah.
But they were mixed up.
We inspected the wrong home.
Uh-huh. Brian went out to the wrong home, and I arrived.
We totally inspected the wrong house. There was just I think the door mark, something was wrong.
It was,
and we ended up having to
pull up. You think that A is on the left and B is on the right, and it was backwards. I think.
And then we ended up going back out free of charge and inspecting the correct house. Look, that happens. I mean, the fact of the matter is.
I thought it was funny.
It is funny.
Well,
Brian didn't think it was funny.
No, he did not. No. I'm like, Brian, I went in the house. I got confused, and I went in the house, and I'm like, Brian, you did the wrong house. And he's like, are you joking?
See, the reason we know that is because one of the things that we do for Audra's clients and all of our clients is we take a lot of informative photos, just as many photos as we take of deficiencies. We also take a lot of informative photos. So when Audra was looking through the report, she's like, that's not the living room of the house. That's not the master bedroom. That isn't the bathroom.
Now that one I actually arrived and said, you're at the wrong house.
But that does happen.
But I would have known by looking at the report because it is very detailed.
Yes,
that one I arrived and I think he was about to pass out. Brian was about to pass out. That was hilarious. But, it's all in how you take care of it.
I mean, look,
people will make mistakes.
As a realtor and as a home inspector, we are in the service industry.
Right. And I like how you say realtor. That's the correct way.
And so the number one thing is what differentiates both Audra and House Call from all the other people out there is our level of customer service, our commitment to taking care of our clients.
Right.
And that's really, that service-minded excellence is what keeps people coming back. The referrals, because she's mostly referral. We are 100% referral.
Yep.
We rely on agents such as Audra, past clients, to say, I use House Call and I love them. And so, we're not running paid advertising. We're not running TV.
Which is great, yeah.
Maybe someday you'll watch a college football bowl game, and it'll be the House Call Cheez-It Bowl. That's a joke. But.
And they give no kickbacks either.
No.
I mean, in this industry, we are not allowed to do that. You know.
So
we're ethical.
Yeah.
Or we're supposed to be.
Well,
that's
you should
the way
be.
You should be.
Like, that's the number one thing from that point is, you can feel rest assured that working with Audra or working with House Call or House Call Pest Control, that, we're not in violation of RESPA. We do not pay Audra any money for her leads. All we do is support her and her clients.
Right.
And in return, she refers a valuable, we're part of her team, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's great. I think we got a great one here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has been informative. Hopefully y'all think that as well. And if you do, please like and subscribe or share this video with your family and friends or other real estate agents, maybe in Tennessee, that might need a great home inspection.
Or a great agent.
Oh, yeah. I know. Here I am.
Audra sold my home.
I did. So, and they were great to work with as well. So you get to know each other during transactions.
Oh, you definitely, like I said, relationships, family, that's pretty much all we got. And
I know. But you got to know that, that when you're dealing with people, that they're going to do the best service possible. And if you run into some over the years that don't, you know who not to trust over the years. That's exactly right. So,
well, you learn.
Yeah,
right?
you do. Learn. You do. But yeah, this has been great. I'm going to do another one with his pest control, so stay tuned for that one too. But y'all have a good day. Thanks. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.